Pompey Sound, your hourly update from Fratton Park, sponsored by Piglet's Pantry, the home of award-winning and handmade food on the South Coast.
Silkeborg's sporting director has offered clarity on Pompey target PELLE MATTSSON's future, suggesting any move is likely to come late in the transfer window as championship clubs circle the Danish midfielder. The Blues have been keeping close tabs on MATTSSON, but they'll need to be patient, with Silkeborg making it clear only an extraordinary offer would tempt them to part with their prized asset before their European campaign kicks off. The Danish club wants to hold on to the 23-year-old at least through their UEFA Conference League qualifier against Icelandic outfit KA on July 23, setting up what could be a late window scramble for his signature. While Pompey have serious interest in the former Denmark youth international, they're facing stiff competition from other championship sides, who might have deeper pockets to meet Silkeborg's £2.5 million asking price. The Blues view that figure as steep, though there's a sense the price could soften as the window progresses. For Pompey, landing MATTSSON would be a statement signing as they look to build on their first season back in the Championship. But they'll need to play the long game to have any chance of bringing the midfielder to Fratton Park.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? The MATTSSON thing. And of course, we get our hopes up because we do want to sign somebody for £2.5 million. It would just make us feel good, make us feel strong, make us feel authentic, make us feel up there with the other big boys in the Championship. PELLE, by the way, is his first name. You can't help but be distracted by that. It would be great to have PELLE joining us at Pompey, but well, that's cheap. So we'll move on to the grit of the thing, which is how good is he? He's 23, therefore he can develop and he has potential and he would be an asset. But at 2.5 mil, he's got to play like a player who is 3 mil. If you buy him for 2.5 mil, that's how this whole thing works. We're not necessarily looking at him as an investment, but we do want him to be worth more almost as soon as his feet touch the ground than he has cost us to buy him. That's the way these investments work. The people who run Pompey now, who own Pompey now, are spectacularly successful business people, and they know and understand all of these things. It's important that we do as well. So I'm pretty certain that a phone call or a Zoom meeting will have taken place at which a £2.5 million signing, possibly the Dane, was discussed and possibly knocked back on the basis of let's see who else is out there who might be just as valuable and good, but ain't going to cost us 2.5 million. And hey, guess what? That's just good management.
Portsmouth boss John Mousinho is backing young striker Thomas Waddingham in a big way. With Cassini Yengi and Christian Sadie moving on this summer, Pompey are down to just 2 forwards. But rather than rushing to sign another striker, Mousinho is putting his trust in 20-year-old Waddingham to be the main backup to top scorer Colby Bishop. Bishop remains the clear first choice up front, having led the scoring charts for 3 years running. But Mousinho has been hugely impressed by what he's seen from Waddingham since the youngster arrived from Brisbane Roar in January, giving him 5 appearances so far. The head coach plans to stick with his preferred one-striker system and believes Waddingham can make the step up to championship football when called upon this season. We've got Colby, who's played tons of games for us, and Tom, who's already shown what he can do, Mousinho told the News. It really isn't a position we're looking to prioritise right now.
OK, good on him, but this is a position that we're taking, the club are taking, that is going to cause some trepidation amongst a great many fans not because there are any doubts about these 2 strikers that we have, just the 2 strikers that we have, but because of the I word, injuries. Injuries simply are happening more and more than they ever did before. And if Colby were to get a hammy or worse, an ACL or something like that, then Waddingham is our number 9. Now, we've only the manager's word for it that Waddingham is up to doing that job. Not just 1 or 2 weekends, but perhaps an extended period of weekends if we go into the season with only 2 strikers and Colby picks up an injury. And if Waddingham picks up an injury, of course, then Colby is our only striker. And that means he's going to play an awful lot of games. And he's going to play the full 98 minutes as well, which we know, because he's the lad he is, he wants to do. But do we need him to do it? Is he going to be at his best after 4 games in 12 or 15 games as days as you can get in the Championship? Is he going to be up to it? the next game? Will his legs carry him through? We probably do need another striker. It's going to be difficult to persuade someone to come if they're going to be number 3. But that's behind Bishop and Waddingham. But that's what it's beginning to look like. So as the transfer window creeps, at such a petty pace towards its climax, and we know that there will be a flourish of activity in the last 2 or 3 days of the transfer window. But as it creeps along right now, plenty of fans, Pompey fans, will, I think, unquestionably be saying we do need another number 9. Or somebody who can play number 9 but can also play elsewhere. A bit like Christian Sadie, for example. Sadie turned into an excellent combative number 10, having joined us as a number 9, and somebody who could play as number 9. I'm not at a pinch. He'd do a good job. The word is he's going back to being a number 9 now that he's left us. We shall see. And we shall also see whether Massino sticks to his guns with just needing 2 strikers, and we've got them, or whether at the death, that's harsh, at the end of the transfer window, we get somebody else in alongside them. John Massino on Pompey's pre-season training to date.
Yeah, it's been good. We've been back for a week now. We've had probably slightly earlier than usual, a slightly earlier than usual report, but we had 7 weeks off altogether after the whole game, so it felt like a really good block. We were obviously done and dusted on May the 3rd, and done in terms of our league position about 10 days before that, so we knew what was coming. We were able to plan for the off season really early, and yeah, it's been good. The majority of the work this week has been on fitness and on making sure that the boys are back and they get used to very basic things like movement patterns, getting used to the ball again, getting used to actually being out there day in, day out. And when we, I think, go away to Slovakia next week, we'll step up again. You would have seen when you walk into the training ground, we're still doing a lot of work on the building and making sure that we bring things probably up to and actually beyond the standard that we had certainly last year and beyond championship standard. I think it's testament to the club that we're pushing on with all of these sort of things, and there's a lot of exciting things that are going on at the training ground to get us to where we need to be, but obviously that takes a bit of time, so it was just about taking a few days out of our schedule to go to somewhere where we could get the training in, somewhere we could get all the boys together, have them there for 4 days straight. Not too far, so the travel wasn't too far, only about an hour and 20 minutes for everyone, but it worked out really well. It was a very, very good break to have. Slightly unusual that we're going away twice, but to be able to do that this early in pre-season was brilliant.
Give John Massino his due. He always chucks something extra interesting, a little gem, into almost every interview he does. And for us, the gem there was that the players are back now and they're getting used to the ball again. I guess that crucial first touch and being able to spray the ball where you want it to go and being able to take off, having pushed the ball past somebody and get onto it first. All these things, I guess, are getting used to the ball again. Getting used to the ball, doing what you want it to do instinctively rather than having to stop and think about it. Whacking a volley in from 25 yards after somebody's heading it out. You can't stop and think about that. You can only do it if you're used to the ball. So I'm guessing it was one man, one ball out on the training session, out on the training field, I beg your pardon, for the first few days. And then, of course, they're having their fitness checked. Now, last season, one of the most disturbing bombshells emerged from Pompey's pre-season medical checks imaginable, which, of course, you know what I'm talking about. And Kobe Bishop overcame the major heart surgery, open heart surgery, we understand, so spectacularly well that he was able to come back for Preston in November, 2 or 3 months ahead of the earliest possible speculation that he might. The speculation was that he might, if we were lucky, be ready early in the following new year. But there he was on the team sheet in November, because he made such a fantastic recovery. What a testament to a player's athleticism and levels of fitness and strength, good nutrition, good diet, good exercise, good self-care, and that all contributed towards his spectacular recovery. And I'm confident that his story one day will be told as the man who, as far as we know, is the first professional athlete to come back from an operation such as his, straight into the hurly-burly and the thud and blunder of championship level football. Remember, the championship is talked of as being the 5th hardest league in Europe. And this man came back from it, having suffered what must have been a huge shock to his system when the medical people giving him his routine medical pre-season said, there is something, or whatever they said. I can't dramatise it, but they had to say it. Did they inform somebody else at the club before they told him? I don't know. I don't know what the protocol would be. Obviously, it's his body, so he should be first with the information. But what I'm saying is that all of the players are undergoing their pre-season medicals and also their pre-season checks on their diet and their fitness. Which gives me an opportunity to remind you, and I'm sure I've told you this hundreds of times, that Millwall once had a legendary crusty old left-back called Harry Cripps, and his name sounds like how he played the game. There was something Harry Cripps about him. He was wizened, he was experienced, he was, let's say, solid. I won't say anything further than that. He was Millwall, he was a left-back. And it emerged in a wonderful book written about football by a player back in the day who lifted the lid on some of the things that go on in professional football. And he said that Harry used to turn up for pre-season training, and they would time them on runs and time them on sprints and see how many sit-ups they could do and all those things. And Harry would deliberately do worse than he could have done, because then by the end of the training, pre-season training, they would send them on runs and send them on sprints and see how many sit-ups they can do. And they would always, at the end of the training session, announce who had improved their health and fitness best in the pre-season build-up and fitness training, and it was always Harry Cripps has increased his fitness by 91%. But that was because he used to do the sprints and the runs slowly, deliberately, so that when he came to do them to the top of his end, he would improve himself 145%. And according to the guy who wrote the book, nobody at Millwall spotted it. They all thought that Harry was just such a fantastically committed professional that he would submit himself to the most arduous processes pre-season in order to get up to shape. He had one over on them there. I don't know how many people in football nowadays could pull a stunt like that with all technology, but they're back. The Moose is saying it's going well. They're looking forward to their break in, is it Croatia or Bratislava or, well, somewhere out there. Sorry, I should know. But I'm a bit geographically ignorant when it comes to Middle Europe. But that's where they are, and it's a short-haul flight away, so there's no danger there of any problems caused by the ascent and descent of the plane, which another day we'll talk about as being the possible reason for Kusini Yengi's consistent injuries going off to Australia and the Middle East during the season. So, onwards and upwards. The guys are training and training well and training back at home after a lot of improvements have been made to the pitch and also the facilities at our training ground, and it's all part of a plan that's coming together. And I'm not going to use Eric's brick in the wall thing. I'm just going to say, I believe, this is personal, I believe a plan is coming together.
Portsmouth Football Club say they are delighted to announce that teenage forward Harry Clout has signed his first professional deal. He made his senior debut back in January, coming off the bench in an FA Cup third-round contest at Wickham. John Messineo also named Clout among the substitutes for championship games against Luton, Middlesbrough and Bristol City. Scholars Cody Howard, Jaden Kateku, Connor May and Luke State have not been offered new deals and will leave the club. Academy manager Greg Miller said, "I'd like to wish Cody, Jaden, Connor and Luke the very best for the future. We are also delighted that, in the elite level of a championship football club, we have witnessed strong performances and progression from Harry, and, as such, he has been offered a professional contract. It tops off a great season that saw him make his debut at Wickham in the FA Cup, and while he deserves the plaudits, I'd also like to make a special mention to all the academy staff who have helped him reach this point." Blues boss John Messineo said, "Harry impressed when he joined up with the first team last season and is a promising young player. This professional contract is thoroughly deserved, and we're excited to see how he develops with us in the coming weeks and months.
So, good news. We've got Harry Clout, and we've signed him up. And that's clearly because we believe he has prospects. He has prospects that might benefit us. He has prospects that might benefit a side that wants to come in for him. So we've signed him up. Quite right too, and isn't that great? And it's great for our academy that we now have Toby Stewart, who is going to go places, it seems. And now we've got Harry Clout. But what do we do with him this coming season? Because if he's going to stay at Fratton, stay with us, then he's going to spend a lot of time not even on the bench, surely. Occasionally get on the bench. Occasionally get 5 minutes if we're 3-0 up or 3-0 down somewhere. Is that good enough? So there's already talk of him going out on loan. Does it work? It can work. Can it fail? It can fail. It does fail. We've sent players, young players, out on loan and it has not done them any good. They've festered. They didn't want to be out on loan. They wanted to be at home with the family, the Pompey family. Of course, you understand that. It means that they get to touch base with their family if they're lucky once a week, depending on where they're out on loan. Is Harry Clout up to that? The club will hopefully, and I'm sure this is the case, have gone into all sorts of investigations as to Harry Clout's psyche. What mental strength does he have to go on loan and be away from the family and his family, of course, depending on where the loan is? Does he accept the possibility that he could become a serious footballer playing at championship level and beyond? And that this is an investment that he must make because a great many other players may have made it before him. One always remembers that David Beckham was loaned out by Manchester United, I think to Preston, before his breakthrough. But his breakthrough came not long after his 18th birthday, and Harry Clout is already 18. So we have to measure all of these things. But the bottom line is we've got two youngsters now who have come through the academy and they are champing at the bit and they are knocking on the door. So well done, the academy, and well done those two guys, and congratulations to Harry, and best wishes to those players who have not been retained. That must have been such a difficult conversation. They may have seen it coming. Sometimes you manage people's expectations so that it doesn't come as a bombshell, and one imagines that that was how it was handled, sensitively, humanely, and also with optimism. Listen, you're that good. We just don't quite have room for you in the current setup because we don't have an under-21s. We don't have a reserve side. It's not that long ago that every club had a reserve team who would play at home when the first team were playing away and then, box and cocks it. And it would be 11 players, all of whom were more or less first team standard and certainly fighting for their place in the first team. And if there were injuries or a player dipped in form, then they'd get the call. But we don't got that none anymore. It doesn't... What have we got? We've got an under-18s with the academy and then the championship. I mean, there's a massive Grand Canyon in between and you've got to be Evel Knievel to cross it. There's an image I'll leave you with.